Hello students, welcome to the English class. Today we will be discussing the poem Amanda, which is written by Robin Klein. Okay, and see, this is the poem of a student or a child who is just like you. You just see first of all about the author. Robin Klein is a poet who takes in his pen the everyday and universal happenings of life. Activities pertaining to small children are very dear to him as they represent innocence, love, smartness, and their nature. So, Robin Klein is a poet who loves to write about children because they are very dear to him. He loves children a lot, and basically he loves the innocence, smartness, love they show towards us, that he loves. These qualities he loves in the children. So let us discuss the poem. Here also a child's things are being discussed. Let us see how the elders interrupt in between all the activities of this child named Amanda. Now let us see the poem line wise with its explanation. See here the poem. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. So there is languid emerald sea where the sole inhabitant is a mermaid drifting blissfully. So here you just see how the parents, or it seems to be as if the mother of Amanda is interrupting in all the activities whatever this child Amanda is doing. So the mother is trying to stop him from all the activities like don't bite your nails, don't move your shoulders, okay, and sit straight. Let us see the explanation. One of the parents sees Amanda biting her nails. The parents tells Amanda not to bite her nails. She is also not to bend her shoulders and to sit up straight. The parents nags Amanda for sitting lazily with her shoulders bent into a stoop. But Amanda is lost in her own dreams. As usually the children remains busy in their own working. She imagines herself to be a mermaid drifting joyfully when the soft waves of the green sea. She imagines that she is the sole inhabitant of the beautiful sea, and there is no one to nag or disturb her. So when the one of her parents, we can say either the mother or the father, that is not being mentioned here, is interrupting in between the activities of Amanda, and she is not just paying attention towards the things what the parents are wants to say to him. So here basically Amanda is a girl, so this is her, okay. So Amanda, she is lost in her own dreams and she is just imagining as if she is a mermaid. You all know which you usually found in the water bodies, whose half body is just like a fish and half body is just like human beings, and she is busy joyfully in her own world. So she is just imagining that she is alone in the sea and no one is there to disturb her, to interrupt her in her activities. Okay, now let us see the second paragraph of the poem. Did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. So these are the lines of Amanda's one of the parents, either mother or the father, or they have asked her for some of the works, but here Amanda is expressing something else. She is feeling quite tortured. So she is saying that I am an orphan roaming the street. I pattern soft dust with my hushed head, bare feet. The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. Let us see the explanation of these lines. The parents ask Amanda if she has finished her homework because they are worried about her studies. She is asked if she has tidied her room, whether she has cleaned her room or not. She had been asked to clean her shoes also. The parents ask her if she has done that. But Amanda, as we know, that she is lost in her own dreams, in her own world. So, on thoughts, so she imagines herself to be an orphan because her parents are interrupting in between her activities. Therefore, she wants that she should be an orphan, because if she would be an orphan, then she didn't have the parents to interrupt in between her activities. Therefore, she is imagining, if she will be an orphan, that what are the activities she will be able to enjoy. So she is saying that if she would be an orphan, she will be able to move freely in the street without wearing chappals or any other footwear. Means she will be able to move bare feet in the street, and in the even she can go in the dust. She can move in the dust, and she can make the soft patterns over the dust. Otherwise, if the parents will be there, they would stop her for doing such activities. So there is all silence about her with no one to nag her. If she is orphan, then nobody is there to stop her. For the little girl, this silence is golden and the freedom is so sweet. So this girl is quite small, therefore she doesn't know that what kind of world she has to face if she will become orphan. She is just imagining that the silence means when the parents won't interrupt, when the parents won't disturb her. So that silence is golden for her. And the freedom which she will be able to enjoy will be sweetest for her. Okay. Now let us see the third paragraph of the poem. Let's see. Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. Will you please look at me when I am speaking to you, Amanda? So these are the lines spoken by either of the parents of Amanda. And let us see what she is thinking. I am Rapunzel. I have not a care. Life in a tower in tranquil and rare. I'll certainly never let down my bright hair. Let us see the explanation of these lines. The parent sees Amanda's eating a chocolate and tells her not to eat it because it can spoil her teeth. The parent says that Amanda must not have forgotten the acne that she had got previously. Means the pains she has to face after enjoying such things like chocolate. So she should not forget all that. However, Amanda is lost in her own dreams and doesn't look up to the parents. We all know that Amanda is busy in her own world, and when the parents just try to say anything to her, she doesn't pay attention towards them. Therefore, the parent says that they feel irritated, and one of the parents says that Amanda should at least look towards them, so that because they are feeling irritated and insulting, as well as because the child is not even looking towards them, as if she is not paying any attention towards the things which the parent wants to say. But still Amanda remains lost in her dreams, and now she is imagining herself to be the golden haired Rapunzel. Here, student, I just want to share a story of Rapunzel. She was a girl which was taken away by a witch, and that witch just caught him into a very high tower. And there, from that tower, whenever the witch wants to move outside or want to enter in that tower, then Rapunzel's hair, she just take help of Rapunzel's hair, because Rapunzel was having very quite long hair, and long and strengthful hair, and golden hair plus. So she just put down her pleats from the tower and help the witch to climb down from the tower and to just climb up from that tower. So here the girl Amanda is saying that he is just imagining herself as a Rapunzel who doesn't have anybody, and who is not being cared by anyone, because she doesn't like that care which she is getting by her parents. and she is saying that if she will get any chance to be the Rapunzel, then she will not allow anybody to climb up inside the tower or to climb down from the tower. Means she won't hang her pleats down from the tower because she wants to remain alone. She just wants to enjoy herself in her own imaginary world. She doesn't want any kind of interruption in between her own imagination and her own world. Okay, so in the first paragraph she just want to be a mermaid. In the second paragraph she just want to be an orphan, and here she is just trying to be like Rapunzel. Okay, now let us see the last lines of the poem. So here the parents have got too much irritated and they just try to make Amanda understand that due to her behavior of ignorance, means the parents here are thinking that whatever the parents are doing with her, means they are just pointing her out, they just try to amend the bad habits of Amanda. So parents are thinking that Amanda is just getting irritated out of that and she is angry from her parents. So here the parents are saying that Amanda, you just stop getting irritated, stop getting angry. Here sulking means getting angry, and they are also saying that you are so moody. She is so moody that she just don't pay any attention towards anywhere whatever the parents used to say to her. Therefore the parents are becoming very conscious and they just want to make Amanda understand that if anybody else will see such behavior of Amanda and the pointing out of the parents, then that person will think that the parents always try to just insult that girl or just try to irritate that girl. So here let us see the explanation of it. The parents keeps talking to Amanda about the various do's and don'ts. We have seen all through the poem that the parents are just trying to make her understand that what she should do and what she should not do. But Amanda remains lost in her own dreams. We all know that Amanda does not pay any attention towards their advices. Then parent thinks that Amanda is not responding because she is angry. Now parents are thinking that Amanda is not looking towards them, Amanda is ignoring them because she is angry from them. He feels annoyed and asks Amanda to stop sulking at once. So sulking here means getting angry, I have told you. So here her father is saying that just be calm and stop getting angry from us. He says that it has become a habit with Amanda to remain irritated always. On seeing her, one would say that the parents has nagged at her and that is why Amanda is looking gloomy. The parent does not want Amanda to give such an impression by others. Okay, so here the parents are getting worried by the behavior of Amanda, that girl, and they just try to make her understand that you just stop getting angry from us, you just be happy, otherwise others will think because this girl remains busy in her own world because her parents always try to insult her. Okay, but the parents does not want that others should make such sort of impression of them. Okay, so this is all the poem. I hope you all have understood it. Read it once again. Thank you.